Welcome to Escape Rock. Today, we are pulling back the curtain and looking at how you can design your very own escape room puzzles.
We've all been there, right? That feeling of the clock ticking down, the thrill of finding that one hidden clue. It's an amazing experience, but what's it like to be the one building that experience?
That's exactly what we're going to dive into. We're going to shift our mindset from player to creator and look at the actual techniques you can use to build puzzles that are clever, challenging, and, most importantly, a ton of fun.
Okay, let's get right into it. Now, this might sound a little backward, maybe even counterintuitive, but the first step to building a great puzzle isn't at the beginning. Nope, it's all the way at the finish line.
This right here, this is the golden rule. You don't start with the first, easy clue the players will find. You start with the very last thing they need to do, like opening that final lock on the door. Every single puzzle is just a link in a chain leading back from that ultimate solution. So how does this actually work in practice? Well, think of it like building with Legos, but in reverse. You start with your final combination, let's say it's 010329. Okay, step 1 is done. Now, where do you hide it? Let's write it in a dictionary on a specific page. Cool, but how do they find that? Well, you create a puzzle, maybe a scrambled message, that points to the dictionary. Then you lock that clue in a box. And finally, you create one more puzzle to open that box. See? You've just built an entire puzzle chain, all by working backward.
So, once you get the hang of backward design, you can start playing with the overall flow of the game. And that brings us to the two main ways you can structure your escape room.
That puzzle chain we just designed, that's a perfect example of a linear path. It's a straight line. You solve one puzzle, which gives you the clue for the next one, which leads to the next, and so on. It's a single, focused journey from A to B to C. But what if you've got a bigger group? That's where nonlinear design comes in. This breaks the game up into multiple puzzle paths that can all be worked on at the same time. It's less like a single road and more like a web, where all the threads lead to the center. So which one do you choose? Honestly, it all comes down to your audience. The linear design is fantastic for beginners because it keeps everyone focused on one thing. But if you have a big group of seasoned pros, you'll definitely want a nonlinear setup to make sure everybody has something to do and stays engaged.
Remember our final code, 010329? Well, instead of one long chain to find the whole thing, you can create 3 separate puzzle chains. One team could be tackling that dictionary puzzle to find the 01, while another team is over in the corner sorting buttons to figure out 03, and a third group is putting together a jigsaw puzzle to get 29. It's the same final goal, just with a bunch of different paths to get there.
All right, we've got our structure figured out. Now for the really fun part, filling that structure with all sorts of clever, interesting puzzles. This is where your creativity really gets to shine. The first, and maybe the most obvious tool in your box, is numbers. I mean, they're kind of essential for combination locks, right? They add a nice logical challenge to your room. But you don't want to just write the numbers down. Come on, think bigger. You could use the hands of a clock to represent the digits, or hide a word that players then have to translate into numbers using an old telephone keypad. You could even get crafty and have them build the numbers out of something like popsicle sticks. The goal is to make finding the number a puzzle in itself. Next up, an absolute escape room classic, the secret message. You know, nothing makes players feel more like a detective than cracking a good code. And you got so many cool options here. You could go with a simple A1Z26 cipher, where A is 1, B is 2. Or maybe use Morse code with a blinking light. A Caesar cipher is always fun, where they have to find the key to shift the alphabet. And a personal favorite is the Pigpen cipher. It just looks so cool and mysterious. Okay, time to get our hands dirty. Puzzles shouldn't just be about thinking, they should be about doing. Physical objects add this amazing tactile element to your room that you just can't beat.
This is all about interaction. Think about having players assemble a jigsaw puzzle, only to find a secret message on the back. Or maybe they have to sort through a big jar of colored buttons to solve a math problem. Even something as simple as finding a hidden key and hearing that satisfying click as it opens a lock. That's a great moment for players. So you've built all your puzzles. But a great escape room is way more than just a bunch of challenges. It's an experience. And your job as the designer is to make sure that experience is fun, not, infuriating. This quote really hits the nail on the head. The perfect puzzle makes a player feel like a genius when they solve it. A puzzle that's just too hard or confusing, that just makes them feel frustrated. And you're aiming for that aha moment, not the I give up moment. So how do you find that perfect balance?
First, and I cannot say this enough, play, test, play, test, play, test. You need fresh eyes to find the parts that are confusing. Second, build in some smart hints, little things that can nudge players in the right direction. And finally, please avoid red herrings. Those intentionally misleading clues almost never feel clever. They just waste your players' time and make them mad.
So, there you have it. That's the basic framework for designing amazing puzzles. It all comes down to three things. Always start at the end and work backward, choose the right path for your players, and stock your toolbox with a great variety of puzzles. These techniques are pretty straightforward, but what you can build with them, well, the possibilities are literally endless. The only real limit is your imagination. So, you've got the tools. What kind of mystery are you going to create?